is Chris Caldwell, and this is today's Altitude podcast. It's titled In God's Hands. I want to tell a little story. My wife and I dated for a little over 3 years before we got married. One day I finally decided to get the guts to propose, and bought the ring, everything, had the whole date planned out perfectly. It was going to be, and she was expecting it too. But she was a daddy's girl. And if you know anything about daddy's girls, you got to make sure the daddy's happy. So I called the daddy to get permission to marry her. And when I called and asked, he told me not yet. This was a little hard for me to swallow because I had already bought the ring and we had already talked about marriage. We've been dating for 3 years and I considered him to be a friend of mine already. And I know he wanted to talk a little bit more than just over the phone. He was in Ohio and I was in Tennessee. But I wasn't happy with this, so I got down on my knees and I sought God and I asked for a word from God as to what I should do in this situation. And he led me to this one verse. And the verse is from Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. And it says, "The king's heart is like channels of water in the hand of the Lord. He turns it wherever he wishes." And so I took that as my promise and I prayed to God. I said, God, he's in your hands. His heart is in your hands. Let him change his mind. And I called him back. And I think he was shocked that I even had the guts to call him back. And he said yes this time, and it was amazing. I believe that this was a word from God. But I also believe that this verse goes a little bit further than just proposing to your girlfriend. I think this verse goes into the fact that God cares about all the affairs. And we just went through this major presidential election. I know a lot of people are disappointed about the outcome. Some people are probably happy. But the important thing is to remember is that it doesn't matter if it's a king, if it's a president, if it's a teacher, if it's a parent. That person's heart is in the hand of the Lord. And the person ultimate control over whatever decision is made is God. Everything is in his hands, and it's his decision ultimately. And he has the power to make that change. So if there's something that you want, a change that you want to see, pray. Seek God. Ask God for that change. Because he'll either change the king's heart or he'll change yours.